Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Stained Glass by CZT Suzanne McNeill. You like my Bronx cheers there? I started writing something completely different. I'm like, I don't want to waste this whole tile. No, that's why the Bronx cheer exists. All right. So this tangle starts off, it is a dot grid. And okay. And I'm like, how do I don't want it too close together. So let's do this. I'm going to do it. Let me, okay. Yeah. I'm going to do it bigger than I did in my version of the step out. And I'm going to do it 3 by 3. And this is how, let me back up one thing. So the dots in this kind of become part of the design, not necessarily blend in and disappear. So I'm using the thicker graphic one. I tried, what did I try before? An 08, maybe a 12. I might have worked, but I don't know where I put that right now. So this one works. And what I like to do, because I do like to eyeball things, so like I said, I eyeballed the middle, went up and across, and then in my, maybe it's just the way my eyeballs work, I don't know, but as I zero in my pen, I can see where the box kind of is. That's the way I eyeball it. It's not perfect. I don't care that it's perfect. I kind of like that it's not perfect, because that, to me, is what Zentangle is all about, is not worrying about perfection, just doing stuff. And sometimes I just think it's fun. So, not just doing it this way, because to me, for me, I keep proving to myself over and over again, look at, I still can do this. It's amazing. Okay. So once you have your dot grid, off my soapbox, once you have your dot grid, and secondary side note, make it bigger than you think, because there's a second step to this. And on my version of the step out, I made this into 2 separate pieces because I have a challenge when I see a grid that is offset, and I know other people that do as well. So I like to separate this so that way it can help you to create it. So making your grid big, and then in the center of these, so looking at a box, look at the box, and in the center. And there we go. I could not do that before. I don't know what snapped me into doing it that way. Maybe somebody, I don't know if I had seen that done, maybe I had. And I don't know, but that helps. Okay, so when you have the offset things, try to find what's squared and do that first, and then come in and do the other. Okay. We'll go to a regular pen now. Sure, we will. Sure. Oh, not that one. Okay, pen it is, because that's what's handy. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, you don't know. I've got like this sea of pens on my desk. And, when you clean them up, you just can't find anything then. So it's just like, just leave them all over the place. All right. And what we're going to do, and this is another one, I separated this as well on the step out. So on this one, let's see. Honestly, it's not going to necessarily matter where you start. I'm starting here, on the leftmost column where the dot is, towards the edge. And we're just going to do seed shapes. Let's see if I can make them even fatter than normal. And so down in a row, skip the ones that are offset. So it's, you're skipping a row of dots and then coming in and doing the other. You can kind of see how that works. Okay. Then turning the tile, we're going to do the same thing in the opposite direction. And this is why I was thinking it doesn't necessarily matter where you start, because if I started here and made, my first rows here, well, if I come the opposite direction, we're still going to intersect. And that's what we're looking to have. So like this, whoops, I'm overshooting, like that. And I am going to take this off the page. And then we'll do this. Oh, I can take the other. Oh, I can take the other ones off the page afterwards. But this especially because it's like, oh, then there's only one crossing, and that will look very silly. And a lot of times when I'm doing this, either off the page or if I'm doing this so that way it's like going right up to a string line or something, or a border line. A lot of times I like to do the full ones first and then come back and do these, I call them partials. Because you have this example, so it's like, okay, the general angle of things, how wide, so that way I can kind of get them to match up. All right. Then well, I am going to suggest, now we have this it could be a reticula really, but we have all of these places to play with. In Suzanne's, what she did is she filled in the center, and I'm going to do that, and then still have the rest to play with. And if you look at, go to the description section of the video, and click on the for more inspiration from the creator of this tangle. I think that's what I have it worded, or how I have it worded. That will take you to tangle patterns where this is housed. And it's interesting. Take a look at the I don't know if this was the inspiration, because all of a sudden I'm remembering. I think Linda might have she saw this afterwards. I can't remember if this was the inspiration or if it was an after inspiration, but it does look similar, and it's a lampshade, but it seemed to be like this part was more rounded. So take a look at that. It might be give you some inspiration on how else you could have fun with it. And it's all going to depend on how you do these seed shapes, and well, that primarily, but then also how far apart whatnot your grid is. But that's the fun of Zentangle. You get to have as much fun as you want with it. And there we go. Now, let's see. In my version of the step outs, I decided to connect all of these, so I put lines in there. I don't know if I want to do that this time. It made me a little bit of had the eyeball confusion going, although it looks kind of neat. So check that out. That's in my version of the step outs. But I did like how I shaded, and let's see. Well, I could do the same thing. And what I did was just coming on the interior. I was trying to think how else I could shade it. And being that these are seed shapes, I was thinking, well, I could, but maybe not. Let's do one and see what it looks like. As if I'm not going to continue doing all the rest of them. But it's fun and inspiring to see one. Oh, I like it. I was other ideas I was having. Well, I didn't want that to look so contrived. Oh, let's see. Do I have room here? Let's lighten up this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you could do that. You either get a new Tortillion or use the back end, and just to pick up some of the graphite. I could probably, well, let's do it down here. Use what's left on the Tortillion on these sides. Yeah, I was thinking how I could do inside the seed shapes, and it hasn't quite come to me yet, because the normal way I would do it would bring it up to about here, so I usually do a third, and then the rest is just the natural tile color, which makes it look like it's curvy, bendy. Another thing that I was thinking is you could aura the insides of these big sections, and maybe, I mean, either just leave it or you could coffer it, and that would mean so if you don't know what coffering means, so you would aura it and then connect the points. So if I aura this, then I would connect those 2 points, and it could look like a gem, depending on what you ended up doing with shading and whatnot. And, as stained glass would be, if you like to use color, you know, you could do each section in a different color, or have certain of them, like the rows going down, maybe one or two colors, and then the other ones. You know how stained glass looks. There are patterns within it. It's not necessarily random, although random could work too. You could even leave the shade the seed shapes just as it is, and leave the other parts open. It is just up to your imagination. All right, as I'm finishing this up, I haven't even looked at the screen yet. Ooh, I like it. Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. So you don't have to put anything in the middle if you don't want to. It's perfectly fine. It looks good. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's a nice, easy tangle that you really don't have to think about too much. It'd be a nice fill in. Oh, could be a background, because you know what? We don't have to do this part solid black either. You could just do it in the gray, or you could leave it open. So I'm picturing, because I know, gosh, it just finishes off a tangle so much. If you want to put a background tangle in, and this could fit the bill. All right, so again, if you enjoyed it, please click on the like button. If you liked enough to see more, would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. I've mentioned the description section and the step outs. Below those, you will find my link tree, and there is places that you can connect with me, other resources, shopping. I have a bunch of lists of supplies on my Amazon store, so you can take a look at that. And any of those links, I get a small commission or something. It doesn't affect you at all. You pay the same. They just give me a little piece of the action, since I've created the lists and referring you to it. So what else? Classes. If you are interested, if you'd like to come tangle with me and a bunch of other tangle addicts, we do that every Thursday at 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. just for an hour on Thursdays. My time is Eastern time in Michigan. And then on Tuesdays, I have other classes. Most of them have a fee. I do have one free one on Tuesday. It's called Tough Tangle Tuesday. You come and join us for that. We have a lot of fun with some of the tougher tangles. Sometimes it's just seemingly tougher. They're not always so tough. I'm just looking at these. Okay, I'm going to play with this while we're doing this. This one, because I did that with the end of this Tortillion, it looks grayer than all of the others, and it was kind of making me a little. I was like, wait, I don't what? I must fix that. I like them to at least look similar. Oh, there we go. Oh, except for this one. All right, and I hope that wasn't bothering you too much. All right. So check out the description section. Check out the link tree. Come and join us online for lots of tangling fun. And yeah, I think that's it. All right. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.